Hi, this is Mike with Computer Cuisine Deluxe. I wanted to make another video on how you can upgrade from version 5.0 to version 6.1. And this one is going to focus on users who may have an extensive collection of photographs that are included in version 5.0. I had a user on the forums, on the support forums, named Quinn, who brought up an excellent point. He has over 1,000 photos in his collection, so it just wasn't practical for him to use the previous step that I included on how to upgrade your photographs, because you'd have to manually import each photograph one by one. And he's exactly correct. It's just not practical to do it that way. I just felt that the steps would accommodate most people if they had a handful of photos, let's say 20, 25, that sort of thing. But obviously, if you have 1,000 or more in your collection, it's really not going to work. So I have this special setup right here where I wanted to launch Computer Cuisine Deluxe with a list of 25 recipes, and again, this could be up to 1,000. I just wanted to have 25 so you can see the steps that are involved. But you can also see that what I did is I made sure that there is a photo included for each and every one of these recipes. So even 25, if you're doing just 25, you can scroll through and you can see right here that photo representation. Click on maybe the photo tab, and you can see some of these photographs that you have from the collection. So if we did the standard export, where we just exported the raw recipe data, we're essentially going to have to manually import those in one by one. Again, not practical for a user like Quinn, who maybe has 1,000 photos. So this is basically the process. You're going to launch Computer Cuisine 5.0, the original version, and again, always back up everything. Make sure you have everything backed up so that this is essentially a bonus, so you're not deleting anything before you start the process. You want to just back up everything and then launch Computer Cuisine 5.0, and you're going to select Export Raw Recipe Data. Now here, we normally export just a raw recipe tab file, and that's just the text alone. It's just a text file. This one, you want to select FileMaker Pro as the file type. Here, where it says what you want to call the file, you can just call this backup. And because this is technically a FileMaker Pro file, you may want to, just to be safe, call this FileMaker Pro FP7. So let's just call the file backup.fp7. Once you do that, you're going to want to click Save, and it's going to save on my desktop right over here. And essentially now it's going to export all of the fields, every single field of data that is included in your database. There's a couple things you need to point out, is that the current layout is not what you really want to export. You really want to export the data field that you see here. You want to make sure that's selected as current table, as the Computer Cuisine Deluxe data option. And you want to first, just to be safe, you can clear all of them and move all of them. What that's doing is every little piece of data that is found, every little entry field, every little calculation field, every piece of information is now going to be exported into this FileMaker Pro raw data file. And by every field of data, I mean every field of data. That also will include the recipe photos. So you will have recipe photos. It's just that this process takes much, much longer than a standard export that I set up in the previous version. So again, this is for somebody who has extensive photos in their collection. Now you're just going to click Export, and you may see a box pop up. That takes a little while. This one didn't take very long because it's only 25 recipes, but again, if you're a user like Quinn who maybe has 1,000 recipes, it could take upwards of 5 to 10 minutes depending upon the speed of your computer and the resolution of the photographs that you have in your collection and the amount of photographs. Okay, so we now have this backup file that is a FileMaker file that is on the desktop, and we're ready to go. So essentially we can quit out of Computer Cuisine Deluxe 5.0, and we're going to launch the new version. Wait till that quits out. We're going to launch the new version, and once we launch that new version of Computer Cuisine Deluxe, let me move this over here just so it's easier to see. Again, this is the 1001 recipes. I'm going to assume that you want to go ahead and delete all of these recipes for the time being, just so you can import only your own recipes into the collection. So I'm going to go to the recipes section and just select delete all recipes. It will ask for your confirmation, and just click yes to delete all recipes. That will go through the process of deleting everything. So now we essentially have a fresh blank slate for the new version. Now all we're going to do is we're just going to import the backup FileMaker file that you see on your desktop, which has all your older recipe information, and you're just going to select import recipes, but this time you're going to select file over here under the file menu. You will now see a pull down menu that says show, and it may be preset to tab separated text files, so this will be dimmed because again, this is not a text file. This is a highly complex data file which has photos and every calculation field and other sort of container fields. So you want to make sure that that's set to FileMaker Profiles. When you set that to FileMaker Profiles, you'll now see that that's not dimmed. You can go ahead and select that and click open. The very last step is also very important. You basically will see that these entry fields have to match up completely, and this could be incredibly time consuming if you had to manually make sure that they matched up, but you don't have to, thankfully. You just want to make sure that that is set to the current table, which is correct. It's the only option that you have here. And here's the key: make sure you arrange by matching names. When you do that, it will make sure that every bit of field information matches up name to name, because essentially the field names haven't changed, and every little piece of data where recipe photos will now go to recipe photos. The old version of your recipe item name will go to the new item name, that sort of thing. You can see that arrow is just saying it's pulling the old information from here into the new information right here. You can even kind of scroll through and it'll give you a sample. See, the cake, chocolate mousse cake, is going to be the title. 8 will be served, and you have 25 records that you're importing. Again, this could be upwards of 1,000, and that's just the process so you can give a sampling. But you just want to make sure that you select arrange by and matching names. Click import. You'll get one more little confirmation to just say, do you want to automatically create the entry options? That's fine. Just click import, and it's going to go through the process. Hopefully you'll see something like this where it says total records added 25 and errors 00. Everything, there was no need to create a new table, so you're all set. Now when you import it this way, you can see that recipe 1 of 25, it already has the photograph in there. You can go ahead and go to the list, and look at that, all of the recipes have photographs. We can go back to the main menu and now click on the photo tab, and we can scroll through our list of recipes. They all have photos, and they're all imported without having to do anything manually. Again, I wanted to include this option because this might help people with extensive photo collections, and that this way you know you're importing every little raw piece of data into the new version and you're not going to exclude anything. So that's another option that you have. It may take a little longer, but it will be worth it if you want to avoid having to do everything manually. Okay? Thanks.